is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist, and we break down one of their records. We get into the music, the lyrics, how it was made, and maybe everything in between. My name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. While you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button, share the post with all your friends, tell all your friends. And we are in 90 season. We are, I would say at this point, we're maybe halfway through or nearing the end of 90 season. We have 2 more after this episode, and then we're good. We're good on 90 season. We're going to take a little bit. This
episode is halfway. We are officially halfway through.
We're officially halfway through. Got 2 things left. We're going to take a little break, not from potting, but from a season. Then we're going to jump into a huge season after that. we talked about this after an episode, so we were pretty toasty. So maybe you forgot. It sounds like you've forgotten, or it looks like you've forgotten. But anyway,
the total universe thing, is that what we're doing?
Yeah. Okay. That's what we talked about. We don't have to do that, but I mean, it was something
we'll do that. I remember
to separate, to kind of separate
the 2
seasons.
Keep it separated. Yeah. 90s.
Exactly. Yep. That's 90s, dude. So yeah, 90s season, halfway through 90s season on the podcast. Hope you're all enjoying. If not, who cares? So what are we doing today?
Not enjoying. So
who's that?
Skip.
Mr. Skip
hates this shit. Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna have so many criticisms about the Smashing Pumpkins or this episode that we're doing.
I'm fucking sure he's going to.
About the rankings, about this, and yeah.
hopefully, like mostly like directed either towards you because
why me?
Because I don't care about these enough to have like a definitive answer as to why my rankings are such. The only things I do care about were my top 4. So I guess if you have criticism on my rankings, it would just be the top 4. Or unless you want to put Sear higher, then dead fucking shit last.
Then you're
you're
essentially indifferent about every other Smashing Pumpkins.
Sear in my top 4 are the only things I actually care about. Everything else I don't care about.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, we're doing the Gishes by the Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah,
there you go.
That's what we're doing.
First record from 1991, and you know this is. We'll get more into it. I don't know. Let's just jump into.
And he says, "I'm exhausted."
Dude, we just did an hour and a half on the rankings.
So whiny today.
So whiny,
man. You're like Billy Corgan right now. Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah, that's
whiny like BC.
That could be.
Okay.
That could be. So let's jump into our origin story with the Smashing Pumpkins. So what do you got this week, Jeff? Or what do you got? Go.
Like again with some of these. Oh, that's a beer, dude. With some of these groups that were big in the 90s, and we know these singles, didn't care for them then, didn't care for them for a long time, and it wasn't until you got into Smashing Pumpkins in a more contemporary sense that I got into Smashing Pumpkins in a more contemporary sense. So your origin story, or my origin story, is piggybacking on your newer love of the Smashing Pumpkins, your newer obsession. But even then, it still took like a year or 2.
It took until we did Siamese Dream on the podcast in 2020 before you realized, oh, this band is actually fucking fantastic.
Well, this band has been fucking fantastic. I wouldn't say this band is fucking fantastic. This band was fucking fantastic. Yes.
Well, you would say it, and you are going to say it.
Yes.
All right. So my origin story is I've always liked a couple songs here and there throughout the years. In 1979, I always loved that song. When Tarantula came out, when Zeitgeist came out, I remember for whatever reason I heard Tarantula, and I fucking loved it then. I've loved that song since it came out. And like I said on the rankings episode, that is my favorite Smashing Pumpkins song. But it wasn't until right before Shiny and Oh So Bright came out, right after kind of the OG lineup reformed, and they put out the song Solara as a single prior to the record coming out, that I just went down. I just fell in love with this fucking band. I heard that song. I was blown away by Solara. And then I did a deep dive I started doing a deep dive into all their records. But then shortly after that, Shiny and Oh So Bright came out. And like I said on the rankings too, I've listened to that Pumpkins record more than any other Pumpkins record. That was my true entry point to this band, was Shiny and Oh So Bright, which I know is fucking insane, but it really truly was. And then at that point, I went down that rabbit hole of Siamese Dream and Gish, became absolutely obsessed with those records as well, and then so on and so forth. You know, just just I've listened to all of their records so many times. Over the past like 5 years, the Smashing Pumpkins has been like the band I listen to the most on Spotify. Them and Blink, which is just crazy. It's crazy. And on top of that, not only do I listen to them so much on Spotify, I also listen to them so much on vinyl as well. I have almost all their records on vinyl. I fucking love this band. That's my origin story. I do love this band a lot.
That's something.
I think Billy Corgan. I think Billy Corgan is one of the greatest songwriters. I don't give a fuck. He is.
Ever.
He is, and he's a fantastic guitar player too. I don't give a fuck what you say about that either.
Okay.
One of the greatest songwriters and a fantastic guitar player too.
I'd put him in top. I'd put him like top 100 maybe of songwriters.
Okay. All right. So that's my origin story. My origin story technically, or it really comes down to Shiny and Oh So Bright. So,
wow. Okay.
Let's get into Gish, their debut record, like I said, from 1991. Let's give our first impressions on this one, and then talk about any stinkers if we got them. I have no stinkers, and then we'll go through our bangers and everything in between. So, what do you got, Jeff? Go.
I guess first impressions. So like Shiny came out right before I moved out to Arizona, and that happened just like a year before we really dove into the vinyls. So it wasn't until I guess what really like turned me on to Smashing Pumpkins was Gish, because that's when I really got into like just kind of a more obscure kind of like doom stoner rock stuff. And then Gish was like, oh, this is fucking dope. If you think of Gish not as a grunge record, but you think of Gish as a psych record, just that happened to come out during the grunge era, then it's a lot fucking better. And then what did it for me with like Smashing Pumpkins overall was Adore. But like Gish was really kind of like what made me not hate them, or I guess what made me pay more attention to them, because that's just what I was into at the time. So I guess that's my first impressions of Gish, is just, I don't know, because this came out during like the grunge era, and because I didn't listen to Smashing Pumpkins, we were fucking like 4 years old when this came out. Like my mom didn't listen to this shit. Like,
same
so
here.
like nobody I knew listened to Smashing Pumpkins growing up. None of the people at camp ever listened to Smashing Pumpkins. So there's never any introduction to Smashing Pumpkins for me, to people that I wanted to hear from, until fucking 30 years later. So like, it's not like our fault we didn't get into this. It's just one of those things that slipped by. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. It's like the Descendants, you know? Which the Descendants is even crazier, because a lot of people around us love that band, and our favorite bands love Descendants, but it took until 3 years ago until we finally
I don't know what
really got into it. It makes no sense at all.
I think the Descendants was just one of those things where it's just like, there's no way they could be that good, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure they're good. Like, I'm sure they're great. Like, Bad Religion's good. They have a lot of stuff that's like, meh, but like, I'm sure they're good. But like, I had no idea Milo was that good.
That good, I know.
But like, I don't know. It's Smashing Pumpkins. It's a different kind of listening experience.
It is,
and it's something that I wasn't prepared for. And I think it's cool that it took. I think it's cool, man. I think it's cool that it took this long for me to get into really like Master of Reality. Right? It took this long for me to get into Master of Reality. And in doing so, it took that long for me to get into Gish, and then for me to fall in love with Adore. And I'm fine with that kind of Cinderella story, baby boy.
Why bring up Master of Reality from Sabbath? What does that have to do with?
Because that's what fucking Gish is. Gish is just big Sabbath riffs.
Okay, okay, I see where. Okay,
but like Sabbath is like, for me, Sabbath has always been Paranoid. Like, I never really listened to Sabbath that much, because my mom never listened to Sabbath, and like none of my friends listened to Sabbath. None of my camp friends listened to Sabbath. But it wasn't until like I got into the vinyls, and I got into like the doom and stoner shit, and I was like, oh yeah, do you like fucking Acid Mammoth and stuff, dude? And then Master of Reality, he was like, holy fuck, click, light turned on, and then that's when just like everything else opened up, and that was fun, and I enjoyed it. Okay. So that's where I was going with that one, and that's why Gish is so. That's why I give so many passes to Gish, because there's a lot of stuff here that's just kind of like, I know it's objectively not as good as Siamese Dream, but I give a lot of passes to this because this is more innocent sounding. It's more off the cuff.
Yeah, more off the cuff, and also this record doesn't have all the pomp and frill of everything that came after it. It's the most stripped down record until you get to Zeitgeist. Everything just has this overarching theme. It has this layering of guitar and this and that. And I mean, this is there is a lot going on this record. I mean, so they worked with Butch Vig. This is 2 months prior to Nevermind being recorded.
Fucking year for Butch Vig, man.
Yeah, I mean, and Butch Vig has said that, you know, if it wasn't for Gish, Nevermind would have not have been the same record. It would have been a very different record had he not done Gish
because of Billy
Pumpkins.
Corgan, right? Like,
yes,
because Billy pushed him as far
pushed
as he
him
could
so
possibly
much.
push him.
Because when Gish was made, they were an independent band, but they were given a $20,000 budget to record this record. And they recorded over like 2 months, but 30 days in total, but over 2 months, and maybe 3, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So they had a $20,000 budget, and when they got Butch to do the record with them, Butch had never had a budget that big. He'd only worked with indie artists where they would record for like 3 or 4 days, and that's it. It'd be very quick and done. But they were actually able to sit down, go over guitar tones, find the best tone, do this, do that, do this, do that. So they both taught each other a lot about how to make a record and everything that goes with it. So yeah, and like I said, Butch has said if it wasn't for Gish, Nevermind would have been very, very different. So that's crazy. But yeah, fucking huge. 2 months before Nevermind was recorded, this record was recorded and came. I'm sorry. I think it came out 2 months before they started recording Nevermind. Something like that.
It was like a 5-month difference between the two.
Yeah,
when they were released.
Both in 91. So
that's a big year for Butch Vig, right? That's fucking huge.
I mean, but even still, this Gish didn't sell a ton of records. It only went platinum, I think, in 1999, selling over 1 million copies in the U.S.
No one gave a shit about Gish until Siamese Dream came out.
Exactly. So in the end, Gish wasn't like a huge success for the band. Still isn't. It's still one of like the lower tier records when it comes to sales. But
it's got that Homer Simpson thing. Oh, now that I look closer, that Homer Simpson Tyler thing, you know, like
I don't do that.
I look closer, but yeah, it's a big year for Butch. Even though you're right, this one took a lot longer to percolate.
Oh yeah, but then you know, he works on Siamese Dream with them, and that record just obviously it's not nearly as big as Nevermind, but damn, it's a damn good record. Siamese Dream is. But anyway. We're doing Gish. We're not doing Siamese Dream.
We're not doing Siamese Dream.
We're doing
today.
Gish.
Yeah, forgot.
So, before we get into more of like the details of the making of the record, let's get into. You don't have any stinkers because you said the only stinker Smashing Pumpkins has is Disarm, which I agree with you.
I think Disarm truly is a stinker in their repertoire. I think that may be their only stinker. Honestly,
it's the only song I skip. It's the only song I skip. Unless it's on vinyl. Unless it's on vinyl, I don't skip it because that's too much work.
Okay.
But so yeah, since you have no stinkers, how many bangers do you have?
I don't know. This one's weird too because the only banger that I wouldn't list, but I get it, is Daydream, the closer.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I probably wouldn't say is a banger, but like I understand its purpose.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay. So you got 9. You got cheating, 9 bangers.
I mean, we can just get that 10. One out of the way. We can just get that one out of the way. Just fucking talk about it and be done with it. Like I get why it's a closer. Like I understand. It's kind of like I don't know. Too. Like for me, it's kind of like when the Velvet Underground had like Mo do like her songs "If You Feel and or" on the self-titled album. And it's like, it's kind of like a cutesy thing to kind of like just like close out the album. But what really gets me is like, unlike the Velvet Underground, BC just couldn't let their first record not end with his voice. Like he just had to fucking say something at the very end. Like, motherfucker, are you kidding me? And that's what gets me about this one. And I would have listened to this as a banger if it wasn't for that. Because that's
so petty though.
That does kind of fucking irritate me.
So
like,
petty.
Really,
though.
Dude? Who, on me or him? On both.
Yeah, actually, technically both.
Like, really? Did you have to fucking say something? This is like when he like puts his little rants in between "I am one," right? I am the one.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, he shut the fuck up.
It's very like John Feldman too, like just having to just add the little like annoying nuances to things sometimes. Yeah.
I'll tell you, dude, I've watched probably the most videos I've watched this week are his rants for I Am One. And that shit, I don't know why, but that shit fucking irritates. Oh, not I Am One, sorry. Yeah, I Am One, right?
The first song.
Yeah.
Wait, what rants are you referring?
When he
constantly
plays
rants?
When he plays that shit live, he always stops playing. Yeah, it's I Am One.
Does he?
He's like through the middle of the song before like the solo comes in, he just fucking rants. He just says like random shit, whatever he's playing, wherever he's playing.
Does he?
He'll just rant for like a good 2 or 3 minutes where everyone's do.
I guess so. Yeah, you're right, huh? Yeah.
No, he for sure does it. It's not like I guess so. Like he 100% does it, and it's annoying. And it fucking irritates me. But I honestly watched like 10 of them. I hated every single one. He's every time he does it, he's always doing like this thing too, like he's fucking like Jesus on a cross, like Mary on a cross, Mariana. He's always doing like the arm thing. It's so annoying. But
he's very theatrical. He's very theatrical.
I get why Daydream exists, right? We need to kind of like edge out of this, and how are we going to do that in a non-aggressive kind of machismo rock way, and like let's have someone else sing who's a pretty shitty singer, to be honest, and this sounds like garbage, but like I get it.
It's a good song. Stop.
Dude, she's a garbage singer.
She's not that, I mean, she's not great, but she's not that bad.
She's a garbage singer.
Darcy the bass player. So also this song was originally sung by Billy, of course, and on the deluxe on the deluxe version of this record, actually on Spotify, you could hear the Billy version. We're not going to talk too much about the bonus tracks, the demos, and the B-sides and shit like that.
No, it's just way too much already.
Yeah, there's way too much already. But yeah, on the deluxe version on Spotify and Apple Music, you could listen to the Corgan version. It sounds identical, except it's a little less, like it's just mixed a little bit differently.
This would be my 10B, but I can't list this as a B because I just don't like the way he speaks at the end of that verse, at the way end of the record, I guess, is when he talks.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I got.
All right. It's my 10B. So we've kind of ran this one into the ground. So then what's your 1B then? Cause I have 10 Bs. So every song is a banger.
I guess I have 9 Bs plus Daydream. So 9 plus 1. Maybe not 10. Math.
Yeah. Pod math. Right.
Yeah.
So what do you got for number 1? What's your favorite song on this record?
I think this is the best song on the record. Like I think hands down, this is the best song.
Wait,
and it shouldn't be
what?
It shouldn't even be a contest. It shouldn't be a conversation. But Siva, the second track,
really,
that's the best song, baby boy. That's it.
Wow. Okay.
Easy.
All right, let's get into Siva then.
Easy.
That's my 3B. That's my 3B.
Okay, that's close.
It's close.
Enough, but that's close.
It was my 2B for a long time, or for all week, and then when I did my final listen through today, it dropped down to 3. So let's get into Siva.
Okay, this one's heavy. This one's very stoner rock sounding, mostly because he borrowed that riff from fucking the Nude, right? That Free for All song. That's just straight up fucking lifted that one, but that's fine. I like BC's voice in this one. I do.
You
also
don't
love
have
the guitar
to be
leads.
such a hater, man. Come on.
What? That's fine. Who cares if you lift another riff? That's fine. Not that I care too much about Nuge's music or him as a person, but the dude shreds. Dude shreds.
Great guitar player.
And if I was ever a guitar player and someone's like, "Oh, you play like Ted Nugent," I'd be like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
Thank you. You know what I mean? Thank you.
It's such a compliment. Yeah. Seriously.
Dude fucking shreds, man. Through and
amazing
through.
guitar player.
I like BC's voice in this. I also love the guitar leads. I love that wily tone. It's, again, very stoner rock sounding. But what makes this one so good is when it quiets down. It quiets down and gets into that groove. And JC's drumming is just on fucking point.
Yeah.
It's tight. It's a little jazzy, a little flirtatious. And it leads them all back in proper, like with that fucking super dope drum fill. Whatever the fuck he's doing there. It's like, my God, I love that shit. It's so good. Right about the 3.5-4 minute mark is when this song just really blossoms into this beautiful sunflower. And that last part, dude, is after the second cool down, right? Because we already had one cool down earlier.
Yeah, because you have 2 bridges. Yeah,
you need 2 of them.
Yeah, the first one, is definitely the jazzier one of them. The second one is definitely more subdued, but it's fine to be more subdued. Like you were flashy enough. You transitioned out of that. It was absolutely perfect. It's fine to to chill a little bit
Wild.
on the second one, and then the outro too. It's just you explode in the outro,
and
fucking
everybody
awesome.
rips on that outro, dude. Like everybody
yeah.
brings something, but then it's like, did everybody really bring something, or did like Billy tell them to do something and then just go re-record his own parts? So
yeah, exactly. that was
which
the
is
thing.
like, which is arguably like maybe the most disrespectful thing you could possibly do in a band. Like, what is more disrespectful than that? I don't think there's anything more disrespectful than that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. That's
pretty so fucking annoying.
Bad.
So like all the lead parts, all the solos, like when I first listened to this and before I dove into like the backstory, I was like, oh, that's a cool part. Like, I wonder if like that wasn't Billy that did that lead. And then like seeing him re-record everything, like, damn, bro, that's probably all Billy then.
It's all Billy, yeah.
And that's sad.
That was a big thing with the band members, was that they would go with this in Siamese Dream. They went into both records recording their part. James and Darcy would go in and record their parts, and then Billy would say, you're either recording too slow and I want you to move faster, or I could play it better than you. So he would go in and re-record everything. Which
like, given the second part of that, the first part of that's like, come on, dude, fuck off. But the second part is that like, hey, even though you had that blueprint, I think I can do that better. That's a whole different conversation, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm the front man. I like what you did there, James, but I think I can do it better. That's a better conversation than, hey, that's a cool thing you recorded. I'll see you tomorrow. And then James walks in the next day. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Those are two totally different fucking things that happen there.
100%.
If you can do it better, then do it better. That's fine. But don't like surreptitiously, like you're a thief in the fucking night, like a cat burglar over here.
Or it's like I heard a story recently. Josh Reeves was on the Rick Beato podcast like 6 months ago or whatever, and he was talking about he asked Josh like, oh, what was like a really awkward, what was like a weird experience in the studio, and he said one time he was asked to go record drums on a record he didn't want to say the name of the band, but he showed up to the studio, he played the whole album through, like pretty much first take, did the whole album through. And then the drummer of the band came into the studio unexpectedly, not realizing that his drums were being recorded over, and nobody told Josh that he was recording over the drum parts of the actual drummer. He thought everything was like mutual. So yeah, the drummer showed up, and then Josh had to sneak out the back door as to not like have like a fight break out. But
that means it had to been somebody like Josh respected and didn't want to like cause a scene. So that's interesting. But yeah, that is very shitty to do.
It's so fucked up. Like, if your drummer's not cutting it, fucking just be honest with them, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Or any member.
That just makes you a shitty person. Like, honestly, that makes Billy Corgan a shitty person for that. That's what that is.
If that's the actual story, though.
You're right. You're right. If that's the actual story. But this isn't the first time it happened.
It's kind of hearsay, but then also, if it was such a big... But if it was such a big deal, then why did James and Darcy stay for the next 8 years? You know what I mean?
What the fuck else are they gonna do, dude? Smashing Pumpkins is blowing up like fucking. I don't want to say nothing. I don't know.
What were you gonna say?
I had a lot of really inappropriate jokes going through my mind, blowing up like this and this and that.
Okay, we don't have to go down that road. Okay, but this is.
Team America did it and it was funny, right?
I guess, yeah. I've actually never seen Team America, but
what?
I know, crazy, right?
Because I love South Park.
Because I love South Park. I know.
You weren't there with us?
No, I've never seen Team America, and I've never seen Basketball.
Oh,
I know, and I've seen every single episode of South Park. I'm literally rewatching them all again right now as we like every day. But yeah, I've never seen Orgasmo either.
I watched Team America with Ryan and Matt Hines in the movie theaters, and dude, I cried because I laughed so hard, and I've never seen Matt Hines laugh that hard.
He's a very serious man,
dude. Very serious. I remember like actually crying and missing half of that movie because it was so fucking funny. But that was also back then. I haven't watched it in years, so I don't know if it's that funny now.
I mean, honestly, the South Park guys, everything they write is pretty fucking funny. So, anyway,
what's your 1B?
Oh, we go with Siva then?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Well, I mean, so lyrically too, let's just kind of get this out of the way. Lyrically, I don't think there's much to these lyrics. Even Billy Corgan has come out and said that the lyrics are more of just like more of a placeholder than anything else. Like he said, overall, it's more of just like the spiritual thing. It's more just like a spiritual journey for him. Like it wasn't. They don't really mean anything. I know, and a lot of the things I've read too about this record, him go like all the liner notes that he's written in the 2011 remaster of the record. It's just a bunch of fucking word salad. It's
absolutely
so it's
fucking
all fucking
nonsense. Like he got more obnoxious and pretentious as the years go on.
And then I think like 2 or 3 years ago, it must have been 2021 for the 30th anniversary. He did like a series on YouTube on their YouTube channel, and it was the Gish breakdown of every single song. And I got through like maybe 3 minutes of I Am One, and I'm just like, man, I can't do this. I can't do it. So I didn't end up watching it because I was going to do it as like research for the podcast. And I'm like, I just don't care enough.
I love annoying.
I love his music. I love his music. But sometimes when he talks, I can't listen to him talk. I think I'm not even going to go down that road.
He has what they say is a very punchable face.
Well, it's just the way he speaks. It's the way he speaks and the way he speaks to people and about people that I find very.
And it's the way he stares at people when they're talking to him as if he's just kind of waiting them to shut the fuck up. So it's just his turn to talk. And that's irritating.
That's true too.
But yeah, I did read that he said that Gish was more, he had to have lyrics there somewhere and he had to say something. And so it was just words. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I whatever. Like, you don't have to, just because you're speaking doesn't mean you have to say something, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and then I read later on when he went to now they look closer, the retrospective review, and he was like, oh, this means this, and like, oh, dude, fuck this. So I did 0 notes after I Am One on the lyrics.
There's almost nothing there outside of, I think, Crush is the only one that I feel like has any sort of depth to it. Otherwise, I think everything else is just a placeholder. But
that's fine, right?
Yeah, it's totally fine. I'm not knocking him for that because I'm totally fine with that. But I'm just saying, like, retrospect, him going back and saying it, it has meaning. Come on, guy. Come on. It really does.
Like you can say I was in this place of mind when I wrote this song, even though that song isn't about that place of mind.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's totally fine. But to come out and say, yeah, this song was about this, bullshit. No, it was not. I mean, most of this shit is nonsensical anyway. Most of the stuff is nonsensical. It's too ambiguous. It's not even fun. It's not even like fun ambiguous like Mars Volta, like Cedric stuff. It's just
that is fun ambiguous.
Yeah, because then you can kind of speculate and uses all the big words and the weird analogies. Like that shit's fun.
He's just fucking flipping open a dictionary and pointing random pages and like, let's do this and this and this.
Yeah. It's fun. Billy Corgan, 0 fun. So Siva is your number 1. That's my 3B. My number 1 is I Am One. I Am One. This it's an absolute banger of an opener. It starts with the just Jimmy's just little drum beat, nothing too crazy, nothing too complicated, and then Darcy or Billy, we don't know, probably Billy, comes in with that awesome bass line. There's some a great fucking bass playing, great bass lines on this entire record, and this is one of them. The distorted kind of single notes come in on the guitar, and then it just drops into that fucking killer riff, and there's lead guitar kind of wailing over it as well, and the song never really lets up. It's just you're constantly being punched in the face on this song. This and Siva, honestly, I mean, Siva has the breakdowns, like the quiet breakdowns, but when it drops back into the heavy stuff, it's just you're constantly being punched in the face. I fucking love it. And I Am the One is the same. I Am One is the same thing. And also, the first time I actually ever heard this song was because of Plus 44. Plus 44 covered this song back in 2006 or 2007 maybe on some sort of compilation, like a Smashing Pumpkins like tribute compilation, which is so weird too. Why
it's
Plus 44?
Bizarre song for them to cover.
So fucking weird. Makes no sense. That was the first time I had ever heard the song because, of course, I went and listened to the original Pumpkins version, and I thought it was cool. It was really cool, but honestly, the Plus 44 version, it's really no different than the original at all. It's fun.
That's crazy though.
It's fun hearing Mark sing it, but otherwise there's no It's the same fucking song.
Here's what's crazy though, right? Because that was also the first time I heard that song, and I just like, I don't really care for the cover. I don't care for the original. But butts are for pooping. That's crazy that you could have been a Pumpkin Man then, right?
I could have been, yeah, but I didn't. I think because I was at that point I was still I was such a knucklehead when it came to like music, and I still hadn't, I hadn't.
Well, we're getting into other stuffs, but yeah, whatever.
But I wasn't at that point yet where I wasn't as accepting of music at the time, and I was still very narrow minded when it came to music.
2006. That was when you're like really diving into like Mars Volta and stuff. So
well, I had been into Mars Volta since Salau, since like 2002. I mean, I'd been into them for a long time, but it's just Smashing Pumpkins I never got into. And then even when I saw Zwan play in 2003, like we mentioned a couple weeks ago on the podcast, when I saw Zwan, I hated it. I absolutely hated that. They were terrible. At least in my memory, they were terrible. And I remember specifically, like, I don't care about this band, so I just went to the bathroom and just kind of roamed around a little bit, and then I came back to my seat. But I didn't care about the Billy Corgan and his music for the most part. But anyway, that's for another day. I Am One. What do you got on this one?
That's my 3B.
Okay.
But they're pooping. I do like that intro also. I think it's rad. I love the beat with the bass line. And then we get to that guitar that comes in a little bit later, adds that kind of like ambient psych sound. But this whole intro part really kind of builds up into this kind of like Paradise City riff. The dun 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 dun.
It's very Paradise City, yeah.
And so
without the whistle. That's the best part of Paradise City is that whistle.
Of course, you got to whistle in. Like, it's so disrespectful. When we talked about, didn't we say like that's so disrespectful? Don't tell me when to have fun, but then I still have fun anyway. God damn. But after I thought like Paradise City for I Am One, there's several times on this record that I thought A, metal, B, Guns N' Roses, and like C, Slash's guitar style. Like there's a lot of all three of those things over this record.
Slash's what? Guitar solo?
Guitar playing.
Okay.
The way Slash plays guitar.
It sounded like you said guitar recital.
Have you not been to a Slash guitar recital?
I've not been to a guitar. Not yet. Not yet.
They're amazing. He does them all over the country, so
he does.
You buy tickets. And what the fuck does it even mean? Why would anybody?
I don't know that, but that's what it sounded like you said. A Slash recital.
Oh, that sounds so fucking cool and boring at the same time. God damn. I'd be cool for like 10 seconds and then I can go do something else.
So not just Guns N' Roses, but I hear so much Jane's Addiction. I hear a lot of Dave Navarro, but like better Dave Navarro. Because Dave Navarro, he is a great guitar player. Don't get me wrong. He is fucking great. But I do hear some of the riffs do remind me a lot of that band. And also even some of Jimmy's playing, like the way that what's the drummer's name? Perkins? What the fuck
Stephen Perkins?
Stephen Perkins, yeah. I hear some of the kind of like busy kind of drumming that Stephen Perkins does on this record as well. That Jimmy kind of, I don't want to say emulates, but maybe takes some inspiration from. Because I mean, at this point, Jane's Addiction are huge too. They're fucking on top of the world when it comes to rock music. Yeah. So I mean, I could definitely hear the Jane's Addiction influence. And then reading more about it, a lot of people compared, Smashing Pumpkins to Jane's Addiction as well. But Pumpkins just did it better. They just did it fucking better, hands down.
Jane's was just a different band, and I don't want to say they did it differently or did that sound differently. They're two different bands doing the same rock sound, I guess, but I don't know. They're doing two different sounds, and that's fine. That's fine. But the song's cool, man. It's not like super complex. It doesn't have really much going on outside of just being a fun jam song.
Yeah.
The solo's really fucking cool here too, right? It's not like a winky solo, nor is it like super loud, but it's kind of like, here, I'm going to ease you into what's going to happen later on. Here's like a dope little taste. Here's like a good, like when you go to a restaurant and the restaurant has good appetizers and you order a good appetizer. Like Hoff's Hut, dude. Hoff's Hut is the best fucking potato skins I've ever had in my life.
I've never been to Hoff's Hut.
Dude, what are you doing? You never seen basketball. You've never been to Hoff's Hut.
Why have we never been? We've been friends for over 20 years, and we've never.
Because I'll tell you what. Here's the thing.
You'll tell me what.
Hut, here's the thing. I'll tell you what.
You'll tell me what.
Hoff's Hut to me is like, it's good food, right? It's like it's diner food. Hoff's Hut is diner food.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. But the one thing I think Hofstad does, I guess it's the two things. They have really good tortilla soup. But the one thing I think Hofstad does better than anybody. Yeah, I love tortilla soup. The one thing Hofstad does better than anybody I've ever been to ever, is your potato skins.
Potato skins are good, but it's too much potato.
Exactly.
Like it's too much potato. I don't want that much potato. Hofstad doesn't
don't want that much potato. Hofstad does I don't even know where the fuck they even grow these potatoes, because they grow them in the shape of like a bowl. Okay, it's like a fucking bowl, and the bowl's super thin, but it's not too thin to where it's like a crisp, like a chip, I guess, like a potato chip. Crunch. It's soft on the inside, but the outside and the inside is kind of crispy, so it holds all like the goodness on the inside. But they don't put too much cheese to where all this globs at the bottom, and you're like, oh, that's kind of gross.
It's a greasy mess, yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, Hof's Hut.
Where the fuck is there even a Hof's Hut anymore? I haven't
Los
seen
Al, baby. Los Al.
Los Al's far though. I haven't seen a Hof's Hut in a long time.
Yeah.
They're disappearing.
Best potato skins I've ever had in my life, by far.
Okay. Well, anyway, back to
I don't know what that. I don't know why that has anything to do with I Am One.
How did we get into potato skins?
Yeah, but I Am One.
You
gotta watch those rants, dude. I don't know if I don't know how high tolerance you have of Billy Corgan. I don't at all.
I mean, I also listen to his podcast. So.
Oh.
But I honestly, I really listened because I was so interested in the Autumn project that I wanted, that I wanted to hear the story. So I put up with the condescending way he speaks with people. But honestly, as the podcast went on, because I listened to all 33 episodes, as the podcast went on, he got better and better at speaking with people. It was so weird. I've never known somebody who was less condescending and seemed like he was having a good time. Like, he was so standoffish at first and such a dick. And these are guys like he's friends with. Like, he's not like just talking to random people. These are people that he works with and are friends with. But yeah, anyway, it doesn't fucking matter.
He's like a robot, dude. He's like a robot that's like learning how to interact with humans. That's what he is. He's like an AI. Billy Corgan's like an AI. Is what he is. Just constantly learning.
And honestly, another reason why I get so annoyed with the way he talks is because it's exactly how my boss talks to me at work. Like the owner of my company, the company that I work for, the way she talks is exactly like Billy Corgan, and it pisses me off. That's all I'll say.
Just tell her. She's like, hey, do you like Smashing Pumpkins?
That's all I'll say. But maybe I shouldn't have said that because this is a public podcast. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. Who cares?
I'd be a little bitch rhyme like, oh, you gotta delete this shit. Fucking so my fucking people on in. Fucking
who gives a fuck? Ass. Who gives a fuck? So I Am One,
baby boy.
Also, with I Am One, the guitar solo.
The whole thing, huh?
No, I'm not gonna. No, I'm gonna forget about this. After tonight, I'm gonna forget about this. So after the guitar solo, the transition out of that, it's just those single. He throws on the wah pedal. And it's the single notes out of it. It's like just that descend, maybe ascension. I don't know what the fuck it is, but just that It's just the 8 count, and then he rings it out, and it's so simple. It's so perfect, transitioning into the bass, like dun 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 dun. The Paradise City.
That's Paradise City through and through.
It really is. But, that's great. I didn't even think about that until you said it. I honestly did not think about it, but it absolutely is Paradise City.
But like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, if I'm going to copy a song, I'm going to copy the best part of Paradise City.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude.
Outside of the whistle, the riff is the best part of Paradise City.
Fuck yeah. But that's cool. Like the wah thing, right? That we're getting into like a hard rock record here. This is the first song, and we're copying Paradise City. We're channeling our inner Hendrix, and we're telling you, dude, this record is going to rip in a way that you have not heard like 90s records rip yet. And this is only 91, dude. So like we still got a long way to go, but like the death of the rock star kind of thing into the 90s is happening, but not really, because these guys still can rip on the guitar.
Death of the rock star is happening, but Billy Corgan wants so hard to be a rock star. Like had Billy Corgan been around in the 70s, had Billy Corgan been around in the 70s, he would have thrived. I mean, he thrived in the 90s. Don't get me wrong. He absolutely thrived in the 90s.
That's not what he wanted, though. right?
But had he been in the 70s,
you're right. He wanted to be a rock star in the 70s.
But it was past that time. People were tired of hair metal. They were tired of the 70s glam. Tired of just the big overall rock star persona. By the time Nirvana hit, Nirvana killed all of that. At 100%, Nirvana killed all of that with Nevermind.
Oh, especially when Cobain died, and people were like, "Oh God damn!"
Well, that too, yeah.
Rock stars can die without ODing. Yeah. Holy shit, it's not glamorous.
Which is crazy too, because other rock stars had died. So yeah, Jimi Hendrix died when he was 27 as well.
Yeah, but that was an OD. That wasn't a suicide.
That's true, but also, I feel like Kurt Cobain. I mean, Jimi Hendrix is obviously wildly inspirational and very famous, but Kurt Cobain's influence on people was way different than Jimi Hendrix. Like Kurt Cobain it wasn't just to like one specific person or audience. He impacted like people who didn't play music. He impacted people who did play music. Like it was everybody. Jimi Hendrix only impacted people who play guitar, and that's pretty much it. Or other musicians. But like Kurt Cobain, he impacted, like significantly impacted people, like everybody. So the death of Kurt Cobain, I feel, is way more significant and important than Jimi Hendrix.
I think Kurt Cobain's suicide really cemented
murder
really cemented the fact that like rock stars are people, and you probably don't want this lifestyle because like everybody wants to die a rock star, right? I want to fucking die partying and OD on Adderall and be up all night partying with chicks, dude. But that's not how Kurt Cobain died.
You say Adderall, but it's like
I know that was gonna fucking. I couldn't think of a 70s drug. I couldn't think of a 70s drug. Okay,
like in comparison, Adderall is so insignificant, or not insignificant, but such a lesser drug than everything else people were doing at the time.
I couldn't think of what drug Hendrix died on, and I don't know.
He was doing like coke, barbiturates. Yeah, he was doing a lot of shit. I don't think he was. I don't think he was doing heroin. I don't think he was that crazy. But what do I know?
But you're right. That is what Billy Corgan wanted to be. And whatever that saying is, I don't know what it is, but like you can't have your cake and eat it too. That saying, which I still never really understood.
I don't really understand
it.
I don't either, but I think it should be on our no list because I feel
because
it's used a lot. But I think it's overused, and I think it's used incorrectly.
I think so too. But
so it should be on the no list.
I think what it means is you can't have two different things that like contrast each other at the same time. I think that's what it means.
I think you're right. And then Skip's gonna get online and say, well, and he's gonna voice chat us.
He's walking his fucking dog. He's walking his little dog.
Or walking to work. Yeah, that's what he's gonna do. Say, well, this is actually what it means. Yeah. At 7 a.m.
He's like drinks in his sleep over there. Oh, he had myself a nightmare. Pass me a beer, won't you? It's so fun to do. It's so fun to do the British accent, even though that time I felt a little Australian there.
Yeah, that was not British at all. If it was definitely not.
Fuck, what's the fucking difference? British, Australian, Zealand. Accent. It's all the fucking same accent.
Come on, Brev. Brev is I like that.
That was a deliberate attempt to be disrespectful. That's what it was. Because I don't. Man. The only time I hear people say "brev" is like when I'm watching like soccer,
like Football Factory or something.
I'm watching like the Essex Boys, and someone's like trying to be like a dick. Hey, brev, the fuck you doing over there? Huh?
I remember that one video that we found of that chick who said this is how all British people sound, and she was just like going
the bottle of water.
Yeah, it was that, dude. And there was like 5 other things too that she was saying, and then she was just like cackling. She sounded like a friend of the pod, Annie.
Annie, yeah,
she sounded just like Annie, and it made it even funnier because the way Annie talks, and laughs, it makes everything so much funnier because Annie's delivery is so fucking funny.
Dude, Annie should have been like she could have been like the greatest stand-up comedian of all time. Because whenever she speaks, like I inherently wait for the punchline. Whatever you say, I'm going to wait for it.
And I don't want to say condescending, but if it's something that she doesn't agree with, there's some like she's kind of being condescending, but she says it in such a way that you don't know like if she's making fun of you or not. and then she's always making fun of us. So it's like, man,
if she was
I
a
miss
little
Amy.
bit, if she was a little bit like more aggressive in her nastiness
Yeah.
and took it to the road, like that she would be really funny in a stand up format.
I don't even know if she still listens to the podcast. She was actually like our first listener of the podcast. For years, she listened to us.
Our first and our first last listener.
Yeah, I don't know if she still listens. I'll talk to her. I haven't talked to her in a while. But anyway. Anyway. 0-2.
0-2.
All right. So do we have anything else on I Am One?
No.
No, we're good. So then, what's your 2B?
Rhinoceri.
Rhinoceros. That's so annoying. So that's also my number 2, rhinoceri.
That's good.
It's not even funny. It's not funny.
It's
not funny.
It's a little funny.
So rhinoceros. What do you got? What do you got on this one?
I like how this one starts. You need I like a good opening. I like it. I like a song that can like capture me right in the beginning, because if you don't do that, then like you better like end on a high note, or you better put me through some shit like a door. Like a door doesn't capture me in the beginning, but it puts me through some shit and it ends.
Mm-hmm.
But I like how this one starts. I really dig when they quiet down enough, like to let some space in, and it's not just BC wailing, because he likes to do that kind of shit. There's some really cool like drippy Oh, that's a beer, dude. There's some really cool drippy like verbed up lead parts that also sound like maybe a tremolo, right? That like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's
that's what I was thinking of. It's a tremolo. I was thinking like reverb but it's tremolo. That's the yeah. You're right. Yeah,
you know what it is.
That was the word what I was trying to think of earlier.
This is like so. Like the first listen through, I was like, oh, that's fucking dope, dude. Like that's I don't remember like Billy Corgan being that great at the guitar. And then I was like, oh, maybe that's the other guitarist. And then after the whole thing was done, I went back and read, oh, damn. Yes, that was Billy Corgan. So kudos to him for being that kind of guitarist. Yeah. But it's just like that part just adds like a really cool psychedelic like sound to a slower song, I guess. But we finally get to like the song, it kicks back into gear, right? And it gets really wild. That lead guitar again is getting wild with its wailing. And I don't know, like the band wailed.
The band wailed?
The band wailed. Fuck. All right, fucking fuck that one up. Because
are you trying to make a joke or?
Yeah.
That fell flat quick.
Hey, you win some and you lose some.
Yeah, you lose a lot of them too.
Fuck. I was gonna quote the Friday quote. I fucked that one up too, right?
Damn, you were just
damn it, dude.
Potting's been hard. Potting's been hard today.
Wow.
Anyway, rhinoceri. Rhinoceri. The tremolo effect I really, really do like here. God, I don't know why I was having so much trouble with that earlier. But really the song is about the interplay between the bass and the guitars. Just they kind of they could really complement each other so well. And then there's some really good harmonizing between the two instruments as well. Also with the vocals, like the note matching, the harmonizing that Billy does with them is it's absolutely perfect. It's a slower jam, obviously. It kind of really just trudges along, but it also slowly builds and builds and builds to the heavy distorted guitars that drop into that just ripping fucking solo. It's fucking good. It's so good. But it also has this like hypnotic kind of dun 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 dun.
There's a lot of drone on this record.
It's
Smashing Pumpkins in general.
Absolutely.
And that's fine. I like that.
Like just like kind of like a wall of guitars at times. Not on this song in particular, but it's Smashing Pumpkins in general. Like when they have their slower songs that trudge along, it's just this wall of guitars, but it's just this kind of like boom, boom, boom. Just I don't know. It's just the beat that Jimmy throws in there is absolutely perfect. That's good. You're dancing.
People that dance like that fucking piss me off too. I fucking hate that so much. Like that thing. Just like going forward, like inching forward. The inch forward. I hate the inch forward.
You hate the inch forward.
Fucking hate it so much.
All right, Jerry. Anyway. Yeah, that's something, dude.
Like a worm. You a worm? You eat caterpillar?
A caterpillar? Oh my god. This episode is stupid. anyway. 0-2. Do we have anything else on this song?
No, we can.
I think we're out of our minds right now.
Dude, honestly, I think
after that
like,
rankings episode,
yeah,
man,
the rankings
like,
took so much out of us, and
Yeah.
it's bizarre because I just don't give a fuck about so much of those records. And I actually do really, really like this record, and I have like a lot of notes for this one. But
well, let's get more into it if you got more notes.
But like, I mean, we could be doing this for a long time, whatever.
Oh, okay.
So we did our that's both of our 1, 2, 3. Those are 1, 2, 3
Yeah.
bangers.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah.
So yeah, Rhinoceri, both of our it's our 2 bangers. So what do you got for your 4th banger? 4B.
You taking them deep breaths over there, huh?
Did I do that? Oh man, fucking I don't know what that was.
Fuck. Damn, dude, I have all these jokes I can't articulate to my mouth to speak them out.
Articulate to my mouth, is that the right way of putting it?
I don't know.
I think anyway.
My 4B, Suffer.
Yeah, 4B.
At the Bad Religion album. Suffer.
That's my 6B. That's my 6B.
Yeah, I think Suffer, like backpacking from Crush, we get this cool point of the record compared to the first like 3 tracks. We're kind of going on this cool journey that is just like another ballady slow point.
Mm-hmm.
But this is very Jefferson Airplane sounding. Like there's a lot of that kind of shit going on. And that's just like, dude, that's psychedelia through and through. And I love this fucking bass line. It's quick enough to add this little feel to the song, right? This little kind of like, I'm going to step up a little bit, but it's not too fast to change the song's like heart or momentum or where it's going. And really, I think like Crush and Suffer, I think they should be together like Brain Stew and Jaded. I think like you only get the true essence of Suffer when you listen to Crush, in the sense that like Jaded is so much better when listened to after Brain Stew. And I think Suffer is better than Crush, but you need Crush there.
Okay, I can see what you mean there. I do get it. Like the middle part of this record is very much more subdued. It's more acoustic. It's more psychedelic than the rest of the record. It doesn't have the big heavy fucking riffs. Obviously, there's guitar there the whole time.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's trippy. It's really, really good. There's
Jefferson
also
Airplane, dude. That's fucking Woodstock era psychedelia, man. That's like that's cool stuffs.
I mean, you're more into that than I am. So I mean, you have a better opinion on that.
That's the people in the 60s taking their Adderalls, right?
Taking their Adderalls. Might as well just say amphetamines. I mean, that's all it is.
But Adderall was so specific. It was so fucking specific.
Yes, it's so like 2000s, or it's so 2010s. Adderall is so 2010s. That's what it is.
It's so like college kid who just want to stay up late and fucking get drunk and party. That's it.
Or study. Yeah. It's stupid. Anyway, I never did Adderall. I never took it.
I don't think any of us ever did Adderall.
Yeah, I mean, I know people who have done. I have friends and people I know who have done it, but I've never done it myself.
I think none of our friend group ever did Adderall because A, we never gave a shit about school, and C's get degrees through and through.
Yeah.
And B,
and also we didn't need it.
We stayed up all night anyway.
I know we didn't need it to stay up. We had so much energy as it was that we didn't need to take Adderall.
Like how many times we stay up at the fucking beach watching the sunrise?
Yeah,
like constantly drinking. It's like, good Lord.
Yeah, did a lot of shit. But also, none of us were really like, we were never really into drugs. We drank, but outside of drinking, we never really smoked. None of us ever smoked really, or anything. We were fairly clean. But anyway,
we're more like a vandalism crew than we were
vandalism crew. I'll probably have to take this part out.
Why?
I don't know. All right. Anyway, Suffer. There's also this kind of like kind of Middle Eastern feel to it, with a lot of like the tom playing that Jimmy's doing. Also, the effects that Billy and James use on this song as well are very just, I don't even know what kind of effects they are, but they give it this kind of like Middle Eastern kind of maybe Indian feel as well. to the whole thing, but yeah, the bass lines are fucking killer as well. And then this is the only song on the record. I know how much you love this kind of shit. This is the only song on the record that's in 3/4 time signature.
No.
A 3/4 time signature. So it is. It is.
If you're not My Name Is Jonas or you're not doing a polka, I don't give a fuck.
That's the only time you care.
That's the only time I care.
You don't care when it's, Tool doing, 9/16 or something like that.
No, because all that shit just with Tool specifically, no one even knows they're fucking doing it except for Danny. He's the only person that even does it.
He's the only guy in the band that has talent.
Bored with that shit music.
Have you seen that meme, that Olympic meme with Primus and Tool?
No.
Or Tool and Primus? It's like one picture is like this I don't know, some Olympic guy like from China or Japan or something, and he has like this like gun, this gun with like this like extended.
Yeah. Skip sent that to us.
Did Skip send it? Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, I saw a friend of the part Mark post about it too. So it's that, and it's like this like long explanation about Tool, like how like something about their music.
A gun that looks like it's fucking crafted from like a 3D printer and shit, and the guy's just like a fat dude that just like is really good with a gun,
pointing a revolver,
and just Primus sucks.
It's a great fucking meme. It's a great meme.
Yeah, I think Skip sent that one to us in our Discord. That was good. That made me laugh.
That one was really, really good. Fucking Tool, man. Tool fans they're something, dude.
Tool's something. Not the fans. The band sucks too. God damn.
All right. So do we have anything else on Suffer?
No, that's it. That's all.
All right. So my 4B is Bury Me.
Bury me. Bury me.
What is this one? Is that 30 Seconds to Mars?
Yeah, it's 30 Seconds to Mars, yeah.
So what does this one say with you?
That band fucking sucks too.
Yeah, they have like 2 good songs. That's it.
That band was a band that like blew up because Jared Leto is just like a pretty face.
Because he's an actor. Yeah, he's a good-looking dude. That's what
he's a shitty actor.
Yeah, he's not
right.
Good.
Like he's not a good actor. All the movies he played in, it's not because of him. And like Requiem for a Dream. Like
that movie's not very good.
It's not very good.
It's really not. It's really not very good.
That movie is like the equivalent of like your parents saying like, "Don't do drugs because your fucking head will fall off." Right? Like get the fuck out of here, dude. Like come on. Like, it's fucking worst.
Or like the equivalent of like, "Don't read Catcher in the Rye because it's so bad for you." This and that. It's like it's the equivalent to Catcher in the Rye. Like when it comes to books and movies. Oh, okay, that's right. You have it.
But yeah, like
we talked about that last week too. I think.
Yeah, I never read that book. I read like one book in high school. See my way through everything else. See degrees.
All right. So yeah, Bury Me.
Bury Me. Yeah, this is my 7B.
Bury Me. Now I can't get that out of my head.
How's the rest of that song go? I'll just pomp and circumstance.
It's a good song though. That's a good song. No, it's a good song.
It's not a good song. You don't know how the rest of the song goes.
I do know how the rest of the song goes.
Sing it.
Wait. Bury me, bury me.
And then he was like, right? It goes some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Man, that song sucks, dude. That band sucks. Fuck that band. Like a shitty. Honestly, like the Bravery got a lot of shit back then. Remember the Bravery?
That song sucks. That song sucks.
30 Seconds to Mars is the worst version of the Bravery. 30 Seconds to Mars sucks. Fuck that band. Bury Me, 7B.
They're not even similar.
They are similar though, because all they do is like have one little tiny hook that's kind of somewhat like catchy, and they make like a 4-minute song out of it, and then subsequently make a 35-minute record out of that. And I don't know how. And Jared Leto made a 30-year career out of that. I don't know how.
Yeah, somehow.
You see that fucker at the Met Gala? Like the shit that people wear at the Met Gala? Like first off,
the Met Gala is the Met Gala is just annoying garbage. Fuck.
What Jared Leto?
What did he wear? I don't even know what he wear.
It's trust me, it was stupid.
No, I believe you. I believe you. Okay.
Let's get back to it here.
Yes, Bury Me.
What?
Bury Me. Bury Me.
This one has like the same kind of approach as I Am One, right? That kind of like heavy metal sounding riff. It throws in some like super metally lead guitar parts too. But like, dude, this solo is fucking. This solo is the bee's knees right here. This solo is the best outside of like shit that he did in the Zeitgeist. It's got this kind of like.
Wow, okay.
It's got this kind of like minor to major keychain thing that like transitions perfectly. It's a pretty fucking like musically well thought out solo. It's not just a wanky thing, even though it kind of sounds wanky. It's pretty fucking goddamn good. And he's not a great soloist, but he's a really, really good lead guitar part player that can like extend those leads to make it sound like it's kind of a solo.
In turn, you're talking about being a great songwriter. I mean, that's just being a good fucking songwriter. I'm sure if you wanted to solo and tap and do all this fucking the crazy RP. I mean, he can do that. I've seen video of him doing that kind of shit, but he chooses not to do it because he's writing to a song rather than just being a wannabe Eddie Van Halen.
I think he just, I don't know. I mean, it's good songwriting, yes, but I don't think he's that great. No.
I completely disagree with you with that. It's like I kind of equate him to Rivers Cuomo, where Rivers is a great songwriter. He's also an amazing fucking guitar player, but he doesn't need to show off his guitar skills, much like Billy Corgan doesn't need to show off his guitar skills. They're both
we all know Rivers is a great guitar player because we can. I haven't watched Waka Waka like Fozzie Bear. I haven't watched a lot of live performances of Billy soloing and like shredding, but actually most of the videos I watched this week was him ranting. I didn't see a lot of soloing.
No, he's a very, very good guitar player. A very underrated guitar player. And the only reason why he's underrated is because people only focus on him in the media. But when you break down his music and his dude, he's so much better than the media and people really think. He's fucking incredible.
Okay.
He's fucking great. He's great. But also,
it's a good song. Barry Meets a good song.
It's at 2 minutes when that bridge drops, and this is one of the moments where I thought, damn, dude, this is Jane's Addiction. This reminds me so much of Jane's Addiction when that bridge hits. I can't explain why. I really cannot.
JC's so fucking busy, dude. And like Jane's Addiction, when they get busy, and there's a lot of like stuff going on, a lot of fucking snap, crackle, pops. And when JC gets busy, he can carry a song by himself. He can 100%. Make you. He can make.
Same with Stephen Perkins. Stephen Perkins is the same way. Like another drummer that people don't talk about. They don't talk about quite enough. Stephen Perkins is a killer drummer. He's a great drummer.
Stephen Perkins is a really, really good drummer. JC's like on a different fucking level.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
You know what I mean? Like once again, Stephen Perkins is a great drummer, a guy that can carry a song by himself, whereas JC is a guy that can be the song, right? Like yes. I don't need anybody else. I just let me do my thing. Let me. And lose. a perfect example of that is the song "United States" off of Zeitgeist. That is literally a Jimmy Chamberlin song, and he was nice enough to let Billy Corgan play guitar and sing on it. That's literally what United States is. That song is incredible. 8 minutes of how can Jimmy Chamberlin write an 8-minute song and make it sound perfect, melodic, and everything else? Jimmy Chamberlin is one of the greatest drummers of all time. I don't care. I don't make the rules. He's something. He's something.
Don't just say he's something. He's one of the best. Also, on this
100.
song...
That's always the go-to, like, disrespectful thing. He's top 100.
It really...
Because 1,000 is like too, like, that's too much. Like, 1,000. But, like, top 100 is like, come on, really? Motherfucker, really?
Yeah. It's obnoxious. This is one of the few... This is actually the only song I noticed on the record where it sounds like Billy is actually... or Darcy is harmonizing with Billy. There's some harmonizing here, but then there's also some... like a little bit back and forth, but Darcy's voice is a little bit buried in the mix, but it complements his voice so well because he's such a high-pitched singer and nasally singer that their voices really, really complement each other. And I feel like, goddamn, if they had utilized that technique more, it could have made for some incredible fucking songs.
If they had utilized their bandmates more, they could have been a much more nuanced and
fucking Brian Wilson over here. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Brian Wilson over here. Billy Corgan is the 90s Brian Wilson. That's not too much of a stretch.
Easy there, dude.
You have to agree that's not too much of a stretch.
I mean, like songwriting wise, no, that's not a stretch. But like, what did one do for the other for music? There's two different things that were kind of like going over there. But that's
also, Brian Wilson had nothing to work on. So, of course, anything he creates is going to be, oh, my God, this is so great, so spectacular. But by the time fucking Billy Corgan comes in the 90s, it's like, well, most of the shit's already been done. What more can I create that hasn't been done already?
That's where we're kind of like diverging here, because what
But we're
Brian
not
Wilson
diverging.
did was doing things that no one had done, and everyone thought like, dude, you're gonna fucking fail. That's stupid that you're doing that, because nobody does that shit. It's not gonna sell. No one's gonna like it. And even Brian was like, yeah, maybe you're right, but you know what? I'm doing this for me, and if you don't like it, then you can fuck yourself. And he did it anyway. Okay,
That's exactly what you quoted it. I mean, that's exactly
there.
what he said.
That's because Brian Wilson was always one for swearing a lot. The Beach Boys always swore in their music.
That's what they were known for, actually.
Exactly.
Got the case of the Zackleys. So Bury Me by 30 Seconds to Mars is my 4B. What do you got for your 5B?
Crush, 2, 3, 4.
Isn't there a song called Crush, 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 like Paramore or something?
Paramore, baby boy.
Was it Paramore? Okay, that's what I thought.
Nothing compares to a quiet eating alone.
Nothing compares to you from Sinead O'Connor. What are we doing? Why are we doing this?
I think
we are jumping around so much.
This is not a testament to like this record not being a good record. I just think that we just kind of hit that point. You know what I mean? Like there's a point of diminishing returns, right? Diminishing returns.
Yes.
Once you hit a point, then like everything kind of just goes downhill from there. And that's not to say this record is deserves that. It's just that's where we're at today now, personally. And this is usually the time where we kind of just run through our notes and put out stuff real quick.
Oh shit. Yeah.
And the rapidness of this is not going to affect the ranking, because I already know what I'm gonna give this anyway.
And right now it's so hot, it's so humid right now where I'm at. I'm like dying here. I've been sweating.
Was it like 95?
No, it's like 80 degrees, but the humidity is 80? The humidity is so high right now. I'm fucking
sweater weather,
dude. It's like I got fans going. I'm so fucking hot right now.
That'd be chilly, Nate.
But it's the dry heat where you live.
I had goose flesh just thinking about it.
Geography. That's what we're known for. That's what we're known for. And insulting Britlanders.
Idiot. But yeah, we could just run through this real quick, and then.
Well, okay, but we're already on Crush, and then we have like 3 other songs to talk about because there's only 10 songs here.
That's true.
So yeah, Crush. What do you have on this one?
Crush is my 5B, dude. That fucking bass intro, right? It's so aggressive with that scale, and like this whole song is just built around that scale, and it's fine. It's cool because it never goes away, and it's super loud. It's always fun. But then like this super aggressive synth sound that slowly creeps in later on. That's kind of fun because that's like the first time you hear on the record, and like the last time you hear this kind of like a Door era synth sound. So it's already like creeping in here. Like Billy already telling you, hey dude, not right now, but later on you can get fucked up with this.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
From Lion King, be prepared.
Be prepared. See, you're the one that does it too.
I don't know why.
It's just like, why would you know? I'm gonna fucking sing "Be Prepared." Come on, are you kidding me right now?
Oh, it's so stupid. Crush.
You're like Renee. Whenever fucking Renee like gets mad at me for making joke after joke after joke after joke, and then I stop and I'm done, and she'll say something that she knows that I'm going to backpack on, and then I go off on the rails, and she's like, "See, like that's your fucking fault, dude. You made me be annoying."
No, it's true.
It's your fault. I'm annoying right now.
So with Crush, this is a very slow jam, more acoustic bass, and I agree. It's more more of a bass driven song. And
it's
what's
literally
cool is
built off of a fucking scale. The entire song.
It is. And what it's so cool is so you have just like the acoustic guitar just kind of strumming along the whole time, and then the interplay between the bass guitar and the electric guitar is fucking awesome. It's so subtle. It's very basic. It's so simple, but it works. It makes sense for this fucking song. And this is the only song on this record where I feel there was a lot of thought or more thought into the lyrics than anything else. This is about his girlfriend at the time, but future wife. He wrote the song for her, about her, and pretty much just his love for her. In the end, there aren't a lot of lyrics here, but the substance is there. There's enough here to at least mention that. But yeah, I mean that actually what you said, the way you put it with the music, it's all fucking scales.
Yeah.
That's really what that's all this is. The guitar, the bass, everything. It's all fucking scales. But it works, man. Something so simple. Something that's so rudimentary. But it fucking worked.
That's what humans like, baby boy. We like rhythm, we like melody. That's what drives songs, that's what drives music forward.
Yep. It's true. So, we have anything else on this song?
On Crush. No? No, that's it. That's all you got.
All right, so there's 3 songs we haven't talked about. Tristessa, Snail, and Window Pane. What do you want to just run through them real quick?
Yeah. It's where you put them out of order like that, and not just in order.
Well, because I was just looking at my my rankings. Because Tristessa is my 5, Snail and Window Pane are my 9 and 10. That's why.
Gotcha. Window Pane's my 6, Tristessa is my 8, Snail's my 9.
Okay. So what? Yeah, let's. What do you want to get into?
Go Snail, Tristessa, and then
Snail. Okay. Snail. What do you got on Snail?
That's my 9B. But this is a great continuation from Crush and Suffer. Mm-hmm. Like get into that slow crawl, that snail of a crawl, before we get everyone to kind of turn it back up and drop in again. This one kind of seems like this is like the mid song for the record, though. Like that's really what this is. It's got a lot of cool parts to it, but compared to the big ones, it's kind of like the weaker song. I think this is the weakest song on the record outside of Daydream, but Daydream serves a purpose. But with Snail, like, dude, I love a good like one more time jam, right? Like one more time, boys, let's do it again. Like, fuck it, dude. If it's good, it's good, and I want to hear it 15 more times, and that's what Snail does. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I mean, this song is pretty kind of. If we're gonna throw filler into this record, this would be filler, but it's not filler. It's still
this is top tier filler right here.
It's top tier filler. It's so fucking good, but it's really kind of just going through the motions of this record. It has everything that you've heard on other songs already, but it's fucking good. Jimmy's playing though, fucking perfect. His transitions, the way he honestly leads this whole song. This is a Jimmy song. He leads this goddamn song.
It's a jam song that fucking Jimmy gets to do who the fuck he wants on it, because everyone else is kind of just doing like the same thing over and over.
Yeah. And then
that's their song right here.
So then Tristessa we get into next.
And that's why Snail's not like an okay song, is because of Tristessa, because Snail fucking leads into this one so goddamn well. I fucking love how Tristessa climbs out of Snail.
It does. I mean, honestly, the sequencing of this record is incredible. It's absolutely incredible, because you start off so strong and so heavy and kind of nuanced, but then you drop into this like lower, kind of slower jam, not ballad, but just slower jam, and you throw in all these influences, and then it builds and builds and builds to Tristessa. Because Tristessa is like this really chuggy kind of jam. There's a lot of good palm mutes and everything thrown in here, like chugging kind of stuff. It's a rad fucking song.
Yeah, it's super heavy. I think it's fucking amazing, and it's got this really, really cool like slow groove to it. I like that.
Yeah.
And again, like we start the record off with just Guns N' Roses, flashy, 80s metal type stuff, and then we get into like this slow kind of chuggy psychedelic Jefferson Airplane kind of sound, and then we get into Tristessa, which is this something a little bit different, something kind of like putting both of those together. It's got a little more grit to it. I think like this part of the album has a little more grit to it, and there's also like that too.
There's parts of it that remind me of I Am One too. Like a little bit of the chorus reminds me of like I Am One, but also some Jane's Addiction too thrown in there. It's fucking solid. It's great cool solo too. But
yeah, dude, cool solo.
That solo is 100%. It's also Jane's Addiction too. It's fucking good.
I mean,
I think this song is
like
great.
I like the first like 3 Jane's records up until this point. So
yeah, I'm not shitting on Jane's Addiction, because they were really good. But this band, I mean, this record takes a little bit from Jane's, but it's to be expected. It's to be expected. So what do you got for? Was it Window Pane? It's the only thing we haven't done yet. What do you got on this one?
That's my 6B. I wrote Heavy Psych Sounds. That's the name of the a super dope contemporary psych label that Acid Mammoth is on. But Heavy Psych Sounds, man.
Love that band name too.
Acid Mammoth. I think that may be the greatest like sludgy psych band name of all time, Acid Mammoth.
It might just be like, it might be up there with one of the coolest band names of all time as well.
Yeah, it's just so.
Acid Mammoth is just so rad.
You know exactly what it sounds like just hearing that band name.
Yeah,
it's fucking cool.
That's such a cool name.
This is the This is the most psych rock fucking song on the record here. Song on the record here.
Yeah,
like we get like JC's ascending, right, or he's accenting the bass lines, which is only 2 notes, but JC does a great job at bringing out the eyes of that bass line, because that bass line is so fucking simple. It's just like those 2 things that's going on there. Yeah. But how do we church up 2 notes to the point where like people don't understand or realize that that's just like 2 fucking notes, and like who gives a shit about that?
It's looped through the whole song.
And so JC can just do whatever the fuck he wants here. And this is like, again, JC's just time to shine and just do whatever the fuck he wants. Just let loose, dude. But then like we get this wild outro, yeah? And like
at 3 minutes and 3 minutes and 30 seconds is when it starts to speed up. The tempo changes, it gets much faster, and it's so fun. It's so fun. It's not even like a complicated drum thing that Jimmy's doing, but it's just the fact that he's speeding up, and it adds, it's like this it's not anxiety, it's just this excitement as he's going.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I love a good speed up. And it's not, like you said, it's nothing crazy. It's nothing we haven't heard 1,000 times before. It's nothing we won't hear 1,000 times after this. But it's what this record needed at this point.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's good. That's good sequencing.
I mean, honestly, if this was the last song and you take out Daydream, I would be okay with that too. This could be a great album closer. Or maybe throw like if you were to throw Daydream like in the middle of the record, like after Crush, or no, actually, if you throw Daydream after Bury Me and before Crush, that would have been perfect. And then end the whole record on Window Pane. That would have been the best ending to this record.
See, I get what you're saying. I hear it with my ears on my head, but I don't like it, because I'll tell you why. Because when a door ends on Blank Page, like you could end with For Martha for sure, and that'd be a fine ending. But then you get Blank Page, and it allows you kind of like decompress and really take in what you just heard and drive it all home. I guess, are we done with Gish? Because it's kind of leading to my.
Yeah, I mean, this is the last song to talk about, so yeah, might as well.
Okay, so that like with a door, when Blank Page hits and you're allowed to kind of decompress and think about what you just did, right? Like you stay in your room and think of what you just did, and you're kind of like, "Fuck, man, that was something. That was something else." Because For Martha could have been a fantastic closer, and then we would have been fine with that, right? Just like Window Pane could have been a fantastic closer, and we'd be fine with that.
Would have been better than Daydream, honestly.
But you throw Daydream in there. And you're like, now you're allowed to kind of decompress and think about what just happened. Because Daydream is such an easy song to get into. It's such a Velvet Underground Mo song. If you close their eyes, which is such a fucking good song, dude. Such a good song. But that's fine. And I get why it exists. It exists for a purpose, and I think it's purposeful. And I think the record would not be as good without it. I don't know if it'd be better or worse. I don't know, dude. I think Daydream had to be there because Gish is something else. Gish is something else from 90s. And there's so many bands that just don't want to be metal. There's so many bands that don't want to be hair metal, that don't want to be like the LA scene, but they are. Jane's Addiction, they are, bro. They are. Like, I don't want to be fucking Guns N' Roses or Motley Crue, but like Jane's Addiction, you are. You're just more 90s about it. But like Billy Corgan's something different, because he does want to be those guys. He does want to like show you who he grew up listening to. But at the same time, he also wants to tell you like, hey, I also listen to New Order a lot. I fucking love Joy Division. I love all this other kind of stuff. And how do I incorporate that into here? How do I incorporate like My Bloody Valentine into fucking hair metal? And that's where we get kind of like Gish, like the beginnings of what Smashing Pumpkins will become. And most of Smashing Pumpkins is bad. Not very good, forgettable, boring, blah. But
so wrong.
I'm not, but that's fine. No. But like 90 Smashing Pumpkins was something else. They were something else. Gish is something else. And like honestly, putting it up against like Nevermind is not like a crazy thing to say, because Nevermind did something, but it made sense where Nevermind was going. It made sense where like Kurt Cobain was going, with how hard he wanted to be a fucking rock star and pretend like he didn't. Billy Corgan wanted to be a rock star and he didn't pretend that he didn't want to be. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Gish is a perfect record. I think through and through, it's a fun listen from front to back. I don't care for Daydream, but I like its sequencing. I like where it lays in the album, and I don't want to listen to anything at the end if it's not Daydream. And true Smashing Pumpkins form, the last thing you hear on their first record is Billy Corgan's fucking annoying voice. And that's par for the course, baby. That's par for the course right there.
All right. So what would you rate this record based off of our world famous 3-point rating system?
I already gave it a 3. It's already a perfect record.
Oh, you did give it a 3?
Oh, I already said that. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, 3 is a perfect album. 2 is a good album. You're going to continue to listen to. One is a bad album, but give it a shot. And 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard.
I think I think Adore, Gish, and Siamese Dream are all 3s. I do.
Wow.
I do. Even though Siamese Dream has Disarm on it, but Siamese Dream just even elevated Gish, and Gish was just, dude, like Gish is just like, again, it's just like Sabbath, but in the 90s.
I would agree with you on that.
But everybody thought like, oh, this is fucking bad grunge. And it's like, dude, like you want to hear bad grunge, you listen to Pearl Jam, SGP. That's bad grunge.
That is bad grunge, 100%. Alice in Chains. Well, out of the 3, Alice in Chains, STP, and Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains definitely is the best of the 3.
Yeah.
Because Jerry Cantrell has some good shit. Yeah, still don't care, but Jerry Cantrell is significantly better out of all the other guys. Yeah.
But Smashing Pumpkins never wanted to be anything except for rock star. Well, when we say Smashing Pumpkins, I really mean Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
And then pleading with Jimmy Chamberlain to do some cool shit on the drums. But yeah, that's all Billy Corgan wanted to be, is fucking Slash, is to be a rock god.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
You cut out a lot there, but that's fine. We're almost done. So yeah, my final thoughts real quick. I think Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan was from a wrong era. I think he would have been better in the 70s. I think he would have reached his goals. I mean, he did a lot. I mean,
he would have been happier in the 70s.
He would have been happier, but what the band achieved in the 90s was so significant and so huge.
There would be nothing in the 70s.
But also Billy Corgan, I think he wanted this David Bowie kind of, I think he was dreaming so big that he wanted to be the next David Bowie. I really honestly feel that's what he wanted to be. He wanted to be this character like Ziggy Stardust. I mean, Billy Corgan had this whole thing where he wrote out, supposedly he wrote, I mean, with Glass, like the whole story behind, Machina and even parts of Melancholy, in retrospect, was supposedly like this grand story. And he put on this character thing once Melancholy came out where he shaved his head and he wore kind of the same thing. Machina came out. They all kind of wore like uniforms, kind of like this. It was all kind of weird. And it's the 90s. Who gives a fuck in the 90s at this point? But I feel like he was really trying to be the next David Bowie. And I like it better than David Bowie because I think David Bowie is very overrated. But anyway, Gish, who gives a fuck? Gish is a fantastic rock record with a lot of psych influence. Absolute fucking banger. This is a perfect 3 out of 3 for me. I don't give a fuck. If you listen to the rankings, we talk so much about this goddamn band. So perfect 3 out of 3 for me. I would say they have so many perfect records. They have so many. They have so many.
Here we go.
So many. I didn't talk about it on the album ranking.
The first 17 records are probably perfect records.
So the band have 15 records, or kind of 13 records plus 2 comps. So let's just say 13 records. There's nothing below a 2 out of 3 for me. Nothing below a 2 out of 3. Sear gets a 2. Sear and Autumn get a 2. Sear and Autumn get a 2 for me. 2 out of 3. But yeah, Gish 100% is a 3 out of 3. I'd say first.
How many 3s they have? So Gish 3, Siamese 3, Melancholy 3, Adore.
3. Adore is a 2.25.
Okay,
so not a 3. Machina is a 2.25. Zeitgeist is 2.75. What do we got after that? Oceania, 2.75.
So they only have three. They only have three threes.
That's true. No, because Shiny would be Shiny would be 2.75. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, you're right. So I guess
you only have 2 threes.
No, Melancholy has 4 threes. Well, because Melancholy has 3 threes.
Melancholy was your 5 though.
Yeah, but it's still a perfect 3. So it could still. What am I saying here? Okay, Melancholy is 2.75. It's 2.75. 2.75.
So I have more threes than you do. You only have 2 threes.
But my consistency is better.
Yeah, I drop off quick, like a cliff.
Yeah, you do cliff very, very fast. All right, so that's all I have for this episode.
That's it. That was exhausting.
I'm tired. I haven't been this tired since we did the Manson episode with friend of the pod Skip.
That was a lot. I don't know why that seemed like a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a long week, but I listened to so much Pumpkins. God, it was unreal.
Yeah, that's what it was too. It was just like the week itself was fucking. There was a lot of fucking Smashing
Even
Pumpkins.
though I started 2 weeks ago, I did start 2 weeks, just because I wanted to get that start. But anyway, thank you all for listening. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars, tell all your friends, share all the posts. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button, and that's it. That's all. We got 90 season coming up. 2 more episodes of 90 season, and I don't know. Yeah, that's it. That's all.
Differential.